Hi everyone, Michael here with Spirit Comics. This is my review of Wonder Woman number 29, part 4 of Heart of the Amazon. And don't you just love that cover? I mean, some people have remarked that, she kind of appears exposed, but I don't get that. I mean, she's not thinking about that right now because she's in battle. Oh, and by the way, you may not have noticed it. You like my George Perez Wonder Woman shirt? Yeah, that's the way she used to be drawn when George Perez was in charge. Okay, let's get into this story. I have to tell you, Shea Fontana, she did an excellent job with this part of the story. I loved every single page. I did. To me, not one page was wasted. This is such a beautiful story, and I implore you to get the whole arc at your local comic shop, which consists of Wonder Woman 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And I haven't even read 30 yet, but I'm going to. We start in Arlington, Virginia. Steve Trevor is coming back from a mission. He says, "How many days have you been keeping me in the dark about this?" He's talking to the general. The general says, "Once Wonder Woman's safety was ensured, we thought it best that you remain focused on your work at the refugee camp." Remember from issue 26? "She was attacked by someone she trusted. I should have been here for her," he's saying, because he loves Wonder Woman. And the general's standing there saying, "We have not finished your debriefing, Master Chief Trevor." And he says, "Permission to leave, sir?" And the general says, "Granted." Because you can tell Steve is ticked off. And here we continue the fight scene from the previous issue. That's Wonder Woman. She's getting attacked. This is Georgetown, Washington, D.C. And she begins her narration where she says, "Ever since I came to the world of humanity," notice it's not the world of man, it's the world of humanity. I like that. "My flesh has been the subject of intense speculation." Well, of course it has. "They dissect my body with their gaze." I'm guilty of that. "They comment that the comment section rage about the circumference of my waist, the curl of my biceps, the curve of my thighs." That's what lost her the position as a representative for all young girls at the United Nations. And I still think that was a bunch of baloney. "Many have long talked as if my body were theirs to own. A prize to be won, a golden fleece to be captured, expended and discarded. But this is the first time a price has been put on my flesh. The theft has gone beyond eyes and mind to a deed of their hands." And there's Etta Candy fighting with her. And Etta says, "Filthy bounty hunters." And there's one of them right there. It's like a tiger, a human tiger or something. I am Cat Eye. Well, that's an interesting name, yeah, given that this cat's eyes are shooting some laser beams. Born of the of the Nile incarnation of the great goddess Basset. I am here to guide Diana of Themyscira to the underworld. And then that Edda says, Cat Eye? Huh. Well, I don't give a rat's ass about your phony backstory. and Edda says, I've known goddesses, and fancy eyeballs or not, you're no goddess. And she tackles this weird creature, even though she just got off sick leave. I mean, no, she didn't get off sick leave, but she's been sick. And she just got out of the hospital, just recently. And we saw that, I think, 2 issues ago. And then I forget who this one is, but she's rather attractive. I mean, green is always a nice color. I always love green. This woman says, I guess you got on the wrong guy's bad side, Wonder Woman. Who sent you, Cheshire? Oh yeah, Cheshire. Hard to remember. All the rich that tend to run to get. Hard to remember all the rich twits tend to run together in my mind. She says, I'd almost feel bad for you if I weren't going to make so much money off of this. And Wonder Woman's like trying to fight this other person. She just says, leave me alone, Aboleth. And that's the Cheshire talking. She's swipes at this dude, Aboleth. She says, I spent too much on the Amazon strength sedative to have some gene freak super soldier get in the way. And that's the same stuff that Dr. Crawford got from Wonder Woman a few issues back. And the guy says, bad investment. The girl's mine. He treats Wonder Woman as a girl. She's a woman, not some little girl. And then Wonder Woman comes back with this. I love it. I belong to no one. Whack! And then there's a big explosion. Kaboom! It's Plastique. She's a bad guy. And she says, your own woman, eh? Then you're a woman who has a decision to make. And let me see if I can turn this so you can see Plastique. She's like right on something. You would think if you can see that weird smile of hers. She says, surrender to me or I start blowing up this nice occupied residential neighborhood. And then Wonder Woman has a swipe at Cheshire, knocks her off her feet, and Cheshire's like, ugh. And then Cheshire landed on top of Plastique, who says, get off me! And then Plastique lets off another explosive, boom! And then another one, boom! But I don't think that came from Plastique. Hold still, you glassy-eyed mortal. And that's the cat creature again. And Wonder Woman says, coming in for assistance, Etta. And remember, Etta's the one who attacked the cat creature. And the cat creature says, you will be lost in Wonder Woman, tortured at the hand of Osiris. And then Etta says, grenade! And I think she, what did she shoot one? And then we see Steve Trevor speeding back. He's coming back as soon as he can to help Wonder Woman. And you gotta like that panel because you can see the determination on his face to get back to Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, and to help her. And then Wonder Woman has a hold of the other dude that was fighting, holding him above her head. And she throws the eye. And he says, oh crap. And then I think he blows himself up. And Etta says, nice. Wonder Woman's like, thank you. What happened to the kid? Did he run away? And I forget which kid that is, but on this page there's a new bad guy. And it seems all these are female bad guys. She says, I'm not a child, I'm Bandu the warrior. And she just appears out of nowhere and then vanishes just as easily. All warfare is based on deception. I think that's Wonder Woman talking. Or is it Etta? I can't tell. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. Now that's the Bandu talking, the bad guy. She says, when far away, we must make her believe we are near. And then Etta sees something down here on the ground, like a pickaxe or something. She decides to pick it up. And she says, you know who recites the art of war when they're fighting? Kids. You want my battle advice, little teleporting warrior? Shut up. Because when you think about it, that's just stupid to give your opposition the clue of what you're going to do. Okay, over here we have Wonder Woman's. Here's this sound like there's somebody reaching out of the rubble. So they clear it. So it's plastic. So she gets the lasso of truth and wraps it around her arm. And Plastic says, huh? I thought you'd be down for the count after I helped Crawford put on the fireworks at the wedding. And then Etta's right behind her and says, you! Because she's the one that bombed the wedding. And Wonder Woman says, let her talk first. Etta, tell us, Plastique. The government calls, I answer. Might not be my motherland, but I'm still a patriotic volunteer like you. And well, I guess Plastic is Russian, because how was I to know Crawford was off her rocker? And now she's, talking bad about the dead, and Wonder Woman won't stand for that. She says, who's behind the bounty? Plastic says right here, not sure, but they'll be in touch tonight ping me through a secure app on my phone. Why is everything gotta be an app on cell phones these days? I just don't get it. And Wonder Woman picks it up and says it requires a password. And Plastique says kaboom with a K, the number 4 EVA, like forever. And Edda says, "Does that do it?" And Wonder Woman said, "Yes, I'm in." And then Edda's getting pissed off. She says, "I'm going to punch you now. 90% for helping bomb my brother's wedding. Whack! 10% for having a stupid password." I think that's funny. Screech! Here's Steve Trevor. "Diana, what's going on?" She says, "Steven." "Little late, Steve," Edda says. And there's Plastique that on the ground. And of course, I want to get this as close as I possibly can. Beautiful shot of Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman kissing, locked lips, embracing, happy to see each other. He says, "I'm sorry. If I would have known." She says, "But you couldn't have. Your mission, the refugee camp is secured?" He says, "Yes. Got in early, reported back to headquarters per protocol." Edda says, "Which is where we should be getting before another handful of those thugs show up wanting to do more than just chat." And she says, "Oh," like, because her leg still hurts. And Wonder Woman looks over and says, and Edda says, "I'm okay. Stop worrying about me." Wonder Woman says, "Never." That's a friend for you. And then soon, as it says up here, soon. "You sure it's safe?" The exterminators said it was fine. The ants are eradicated, but they got called to an emergency B situation at the senator's office before they could remove the tent. So it looks like they're right now in a makeshift headquarters, perhaps. It's covered in cloth. And it says, "Not the bug bomb man, Diana being here?" And the woman says, "No reason to believe the picket's been compromised." "Edda, you and Wonder Woman reconciled?" "Holding a grudge against her put me in bad company. I picked my side, Sasha." And it's up here it says soon, so that's a little bit confusing. But I think this is, later on down the... This is something that's maybe will happen or hasn't happened. I'm not sure. I haven't read issue 30 yet. And that Sasha says, "Intelligence has been working overtime. Apparently, word got out about Dr. Crawford's gene splicing." And Steve says, "Now someone wants to harvest Diana's DNA?" And Sasha says, "The millions for the bounty is nothing compared to what a pharmaceutical company could make off a wonder drug based on her power." You get it? Wonder drug, Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman says, "Is this true? My DNA could hold the cure for breast cancers, Huntington's, sickle cell, hemophilia. Intelligence believes it's possible," Sasha says. Wonder Woman says, "How many people have these diseases?" And Sasha says, "I don't know. Millions?" And the general over here says, "You can't leave according to protocol." I really think the general cares about her like a father figure. And Diana says, "Your protocol does not concern me. I am not subject to your government," even though a few issues ago she was doing her best to follow protocol. "I need a moment alone to consider," Wonder Woman says. I love this story. And she takes off. This is Washington, D.C. You can tell. She says, "Patrons of the Amazons, hear my prayer. I beseech you to illuminate my true path." And she said, and her narration is like she's thinking to herself. "It is my heart's desire to help a world in need, to alleviate humanity's injustices and remedy their pain." And then she's speaking to her patrons still. "Guide me to the decision that you would have for me. I believed I was given these powers so I could accomplish this mission by being a stronger woman, a better warrior, a more perfect Amazon. So, show me if this is the purpose of the power you have bestowed upon me," because she's quick, she's strong, everything. "But maybe there is another way a better way to grant peace," she's thinking to herself. And then she's looking at the Capitol building here. I think this is really nice. The Capitol of the United States. "Steve will not understand why I left to seek the Patrons' Council. He will respect my piety. But I do not expect his empathy when he grew up with siblings, neighborhood kids, and school friends all around when I was a girl who needed a peer. Who else could I turn to?" Because technically, Wonder Woman did grow up, alone, even though there was other Amazons around. And then over here we have Themyscira, island of Themyscira years ago. And this is Diana when she's a little bit older, I think. "Patrons of the Amazons, hear my prayer. At tomorrow's tournament, give me strength in combat. Make my opponent true and fierce. Let them fight full instead of letting me win again." And there's her mother, Queen Hippolyta, listening to her daughter. "May I make my mother proud. Show her I am the Amazon daughter she desired." And then she blows out the candles and says, "Let it be." And her Queen Hippolyta says, "Diana, going to bed early?" And she says, "Yes, mother. I should be well rested for the tournament." And then Queen Hippolyta goes into her room and says, "My darling Diana, do you know I love you?" "Yes, mother," she says. "Do you know that I would give my throne for your happiness?" "Yes, mother," she says. "Do you know that no matter which path you forge, I will never be disappointed and always be proud of you?" "Yes, mother," she says. And this back to present day. This is Diana thinking, "I want my mother's guidance, but she cannot be called. So I turn to the patrons who do not answer. And then there's a ping on that phone. Mission status. And even if they did, could I trust them? Because her patrons are the Greek gods, and she's not so sure that they can be trusted. And no, it wasn't the other phone. It was I guess maybe it's her own. So she's called back to the bunker, and this is Etta Commander Candy saying, "Be prepared for extreme technology, advanced weaponry, even superpowers. Looks like the notice went out to some of the baddest." And one of them says, "This is unnecessary. I will put an end to these bounty hunters." And Edison's character enlighten us. "I will collect the bounty myself." Are you sure? I think that's Etta Candy. "No, but I will hear them out. If I can save people this way, millions of people," and this is Steve right there. He's he's gasping. "Then you must, but don't forget, I need you too." And she puts her hand over his mouth to reassure him that everything's going to be okay. And Ed is standing here saying, "The address fits. It belongs to a Hamilton Rivera, renowned geneticist." When you're dealing with a geneticist in fiction, it's never good. Sort of a pioneer in his field, working on cures for just about every disease you've ever heard of. And Wonder Woman listed about 3 or 4 of them a few pages ago. And it says, "In quite a few, you haven't." And Wonder Woman says, "What's that?" And it's a picture of the dude. It's hard to see, but it says, "Rivera's research leads to a cessation of symptoms in kids with early onset of Royer-Mayer's syndrome." Interesting, which is exactly what Dr. Crawford had. And she died a few issues ago. Now, here, Steve, Wonder Woman, and Etta are all walking down this hall. And Steve's saying, "This guy was willing to have you killed if it would have helped him." And Wonder Woman says, "Helped him save children. How many times in battle have we risked one to save many?" And Etta says, "We'll try your way, Di, but any hint he's not cooperative, and I'll have him in cuffs before he can scratch his nose." And I believe it too. And there's that woman named Sasha and the general. She says, "For one thing, Commander, you're on medical leave still." And the general says, "Commander Candy, Master Chief Trevor, you are not authorized to go on this mission." And Etta looks at him and says, "Say what?" And then that woman, Sasha, she starts in and says, "And I can't risk my agents going on a mission without due diligence. I would stop her from going too until we can properly assess the situation, but I know she doesn't take orders from me." And Wonder Woman says, "I will go alone and assess the situation." And she says to Steve, "I'll meet you at home." And Steve looks at her and says, "I'm making dinner, so don't be late." And Etta reminds her to take care of herself. And Wonder Woman says, "Stop worrying about me." And Etta says, "Never." That's true friendship. And then this last page of issue 29. She arrives at the address and says, "I'm here of my own accord, Mr. Rivera, to learn more of your research, your plans." And as you can see, that there he is, all alone in his room, and there's Wonder Woman talking to him, and he says, "Welcome, Diana. Can I call you Diana, or do you prefer Wonder Woman?" She says, "Diana is fine if we are to be allies, but I must be clear. Given the circumstances of my invitation here, you will regret any untoward maneuver. The government knows where I am." And he sort of smiles and says, "Look around, Wonder Woman." And then she's surrounded. And he says, "We are the government." Heart of the Amazon Part 4. Oh, I say every page just had me on edge when I was reading this, and there wasn't a lot of action in this issue, but there was a good balance between action and dialogue I believe to set up for the next issue. So this story arc, Heart of the Amazon, can conclude. Written by Shea Fontana, and she did a wonderful job. And so did the artist for the cover art and the interior art. I say this. I don't want to grade comics because some people do, but I just don't want to. I'm just going to say I loved this issue, and I highly recommend you get it, so that you get this entire arc. Now, I have issue 30, and I have not yet read it, but I plan to, hopefully this evening, and hopefully get that video recorded this evening as well. And please, if you have not yet subscribed to Spirit Comics, my channel, please click the subscribe button down below and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. Also, drop a like and share this video because it will support my channel. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate that. If you would do that. And stay tuned because there's more good stuff coming from my channel, Spirit Comics. I am Michael.